being told they are now making arrests here. We were bringing this to you live. People have stormed into Trump Tower protesting the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University graduate student, former graduate student, who has riled up so much of the anti-Semitism that we've seen, not just on Columbia, but other campuses as well. There's a big dispute going on right now between the Trump administration and Democrats and these supporters of Khalil's who say he has been unfairly detained. But what we're hearing from the administration is Khalil has been at the nexus of this anti-Semitism and the violent protests we've seen on some of these college campuses. You can think about the one building they took over at Columbia months ago and detained. They actually held a janitor hostage. We see the arrest now here at Trump Tower. Can we hear what they're chanting? We don't have the audio, but you can see them getting loud and you can see the police finally moving in. And one of the things I think that we need to note here is you can see, we mentioned before that there were police in the corners. Now we see more police show up, overwhelming force. Let's listen in and see if we can hear what they're chanting.
All right, y'all. Yeah, melee has broken out at Trump Towers in New York, and the ground floor has been flooded with protesters that are all going crazy over Mahmoud Khalil. Now, Mahmoud Khalil is a graduate student from Columbia University, and when I say graduate student, he's already graduated. He shouldn't even be on the college campus. And that's one thing nobody can figure out. Why is he there? Now, he is a Syrian, born in Syria, okay, Syrian resident, but then he has citizenship in an entirely another country. And then he's here in America on a green card and a student visa. Now, right now, you've got Democrats, you even got Letitia James and some of these other radical left-wing Democrats, instead of fighting for the American people, instead of fighting on lowering taxes and reducing crime and securing our border, the Democrat Party right now is establishing a front line to fight on behalf of Mahmoud Khalil's extradition. Because that's right, President Trump and Marco Rubio said they're deporting this individual. Now you hear people saying stuff like, he's here on a green card, so that makes him a naturalized citizen. No, it does not. And I'm going to show you how. The next time you hear somebody say that, let's look at this right here. Right here, Section 237, A4C, the Immigration and Nationality Act. It addresses deportation grounds related to national security and related activities, specifically focusing on acts like espionage, terrorism, or participation in genocide or extrajudicial killings. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Section 237, A4 encompasses ground for deportation related to security and related activities, espionage, terrorist activities, participation in genocide. Also, while 237A4C focuses on security-related issues, other grounds for deportation under Section 237 include criminal activity, violent crimes. Let me scroll this up. Violent crimes, immigration-related offenses, violating visa conditions. Now, Mr. Khalil has done all of those. As a matter of fact, let's check out, let me give you some information to help introduce you to who Mr. Khalil is and why all of this uproar. You even got his wife out there saying that her husband was kidnapped. Now, I'd like for you to give me your feedback, whether you feel it's right that President Trump is getting this gentleman out of here. I won't even call him a gentleman, this individual out that's been on college campuses riling up the anti-Semitism. And it doesn't matter whether you are a fan of Jewish people or not. To be able to bring harm to people that are going to school to learn just because of their religious beliefs or their ethnicity is wrong across the board. And the Democrats try to act like they're such big proponents of equal rights. But nobody's stepping up for the Jewish children that are on campus just there to learn. And you got these people literally taking over campuses. And you heard kidnapping janitors. So let's check out this here about Mr. Khalil. Mahmoud Khalil is an influence agent of Qatar, whose role was to radicalize Islamist communists and leftist university students, inciting them to organize riots at Columbia University and other locations against Israel and in support of the Hamas terrorist organization. He should not be deported yet. He must be first imprisoned before being sent back to Algeria. And let's take a look at some of the outrageousness of what these people have been doing on these campuses.
Okay, I think that's just
If you enjoyed the video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. And once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Now, if you can't tell by the accents, there is no accent. These are American white children that are on these campuses, and some black children. They're Americans. They were born here. And little do they know that as if they were in Palestine, they would not even be able to protest like they are right now. They would get killed for that. The LGBTQ community fighting for the rights of Palestinians. Do you know that there was a Palestinian transgender comedian that was allegedly unalived and had their private parts stuffed in their mouth by the Palestinians? Hamas doesn't support homosexuality. But you got these people, these young American children, rich kids, spoiled kids that are going to Columbia and these other schools, Harvard, that's supposed to be there learning, but they're there being radicalized by Islamist groups that are forcing them to hate their country. And this is the generation that we have to trust the hands of the future into. We have to trust them to be loyal to America. And look at how they're acting. All because of this individual. Let's check this out. It says, where is Mahmoud Khalil? Mahmoud Khalil's attorney has confirmed they do not know his whereabouts. Officials initially claimed he was taken to an ICE facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But when his wife, who's 8 months pregnant, arrived to visit him, she was told he was not there. Now reports indicate he may have been transferred as far as Louisiana. And you got this radical saying this is not just an arrest, this is an attack on the First Amendment. They consider terrorist acts to be a part of the First Amendment, and it's not. This is what Joe Biden and the Democrat party's radical left extremist ideologies has done. And they don't care about, they try to grandstand about January the 6th, January the 6th. You notice the only time the Democrats talk about violence is on January the 6th, when that was like the most nonviolent coup in the history of the world, where the people were let in by the guards. Nobody died on that day except Ashley Babbitt. No police died that day. They committed suicide later, and one gentleman had a heart attack days later. And of course, that's terrible also. But this wasn't what 2020 was when they tore up multiple cities, Seattle, Portland, and Minneapolis. This isn't what they're doing to these campuses, where they're tearing up prestigious campuses that the federal government gives money to. So what we have right here, we're going to listen to Mr. Khalil as he spews his radical Islamist views. Let's check out what he has to say.
NYPD or any other law enforcement, including the National Guard, will be brought into the university. Yes, so yesterday we had a very long session with the university negotiators. We spent 11 hours in the negotiation room. Today we spent about an hour as well. Clearly, there are, as Wade mentioned, we are at a stage where kind of an impasse. The university is not acknowledging the movement and the extent of the movement, and what they're willing to offer is mostly just statements, processes, and committees.
Now, what do these people possibly believe they're going to be able to do, protesting on behalf of Hamas, as if President Trump and the American military is going to bow down to them, as if them doing this here is going to stop the Israelis from doing what it is they're doing to defend their people? This has nothing to do with that. This is nothing more than the Democrats' agenda to create unrest and disruption here in America, to keep the news off of what's happening with Doge, which is exposing all of the waste, fraud, and abuse and the scandals that the Democrats are caught up in. You have to realize that's what this is really all about. And who's funding these protests? Who gave the money for all of these kids that are wearing the same shirts? Who gave them the money for the signs? These are college students. They're broke. How is this so well coordinated? And I guarantee you, as we begin to continue to dig through those digging through the agencies, we're going to be finding out, like we already are, that these left-wing groups are being funded by Soros, the Gates Foundation. We're being funded by USAID, allegedly. And this is treasonous. Now, here we have more clips of Khalil.
We're not talking to the president. Can you hear? We're not talking to the president.
This is insane. So you got an adult who's already graduated from college that's here on a student visa and a green card that's causing all of this unrest. Now they found out that he's a foreign agent, allegedly. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Because they say, come to find out, Mr. Khalil may be a foreign agent. There's footage of Mahmoud Khalil engaging in criminal activity just last week when he helped take over a Barnard College academic building that was then littered with terrorist propaganda. Don't let them gaslight you into silence. Let's check this out.
We're not talking to the president.
It's the same clip. And here we got, let's see here what we got here with this.
Israel and their propaganda always find like something to attack. Like
we tried armed resistance, which is legitimate under international law, but Israel calls it terrorism. That is insane. We've tried armed resistance, which is legitimate under international law, but Israel calls it terrorism. So this is what we got going on in America right now. We've got a generation of younger people that have been radicalized by the Democrat Party, have been programmed to hate America, to love terrorist groups like Hamas. And it's, you know what's funny? All of these people talk down on America. Ilhan Omar, this Khalil cat, all these other people, but yet they don't leave. You know why? Because it's one of the only countries in the world where you can even protest without risking being arrested and murdered. They will kill you in other countries for being treasonous, waving another country's flags on their government floors and stuff like that. Other countries don't play. You're not going to Saudi Arabia doing that. You're not going to Iran doing that. You're not going to China doing that. North Korea, Russia. But America, being so democratic, we've allowed radical extremists to infiltrate our system, radicalize our children, and to create this BS that we got going on. Am I wrong? Or is this stuff insane? Man, I just wanted to jump in and share with you what's been going on right now around the country. It is nuts. So if you do have young children that are teenagers or high schoolers, please let's educate them on how to love America. My children, my sons we Trumpers, Republicans. They love America. They see the BS. My youngest son is a member of the naval forces right now. Both of my sons are patriotic, and we got to start instilling that in our children. But this is what's going on around the country today. So I hope they get this person out of there. I believe he's already gone. If he's not gone already, he will be. And let's watch how the Democrats all come to bat for this person and fight for him more and harder than they fight for the American people. It's sad, it's treasonous, and it's a shame. But hey, listen, I appreciate you for watching this video. And if you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Brian Maxwell saying thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.